Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of BBP News and another episode of Idiots in the News.
We are visiting the wonderful state of Florida this week. And if you missed last week, essentially what happened was someone stole a hearse with a dead body in the back and it fell out. And Nick gives that a rating of an 8 of stupid. And I told him last week that I am making it my mission to make sure that we reach a 10 of idiot status. So I am breaking out all the stops, and we are visiting the wonderful state of Florida.
Okay, all right. I'm very curious to know because there's so many crazy stories that come out of Florida. You know, that's where the whole Florida man thing came from, was just because of the stories that came out of there. So I am very excited to see what you have managed to find here, and
Well,
scared all at the same time. But you know.
in the Clean Water Police Department, officers arrested a 22-year-old motorcyclist named Tyler Beverly over the weekend after he ran a red light and sped away as police tried to pull him over. Beverly, riding a white motorcycle, allegedly made eye contact with the police before beginning the chase. Following his arrest, Beverly told officers that he had been trying to, quote, show off during a first date with the woman who was riding as a passenger on the back of his motorcycle. He ran multiple red lights and at times was traveling over 100 miles per hour. Police say after questioning the female, she was yelling repeatedly to stop and pull over.
Oh my god. See, this is out of a movie or a TV show. This is straight out of TV. Because typically when you see this kind of scene in TV, right? Usually what it ends up being is someone, cuz you said you made eye contact with police, that to me, like before you finished off the story, made me think, "Oh, he thought the police wanted to race with him." And this is just about as bad. Made eye contact with the police is like, all right, this is going to impress my date. Let's let's get into a chase with the police. That's going to
Well, you know
impress
what,
them.
Nick? Before the pandemic, dating was hard. Now, during the pandemic, dating was even harder. And it's a lot more competitive, so I've heard. And so, you know what? You got to pull out all the stops.
Look, I'm all for being creative in how you impress your date, right? I am all for coming up with new great ideas to show that you're the correct person to be dating um, the significant other. However, however, when you start to think, when you start to have the idea that getting into 100-mile-an-hour police chase is the correct way to go, I have other questions and other concerns that really need answering.
Well, Beverly was charged with a felony charge of attempting to flee from police at high speeds while displaying, quote, a blatant disregard for safety of persons or property. And he was released from jail just before noon the next day with posting bond of $10,000.
Oh
An
boy,
expensive
Beverly.
first date, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, that's definitely more than I'll ever pay on a first date, I gotta say.
I think that's more than I would pay on any date ever.
I mean, fair. But the first date, I'm not spending $10,000. Thank you. Thank you. No. Um, dear God, Beverly. Try again.
So,
Or don't try again.
so
That might be safer.
yeah, that's a better answer, Nick. Don't try again. You are better on going. Um, so on a scale 1 to 10, 1 being he's a genius, 10 being he's the dumbest person you've ever heard about, what is he, Nick?
You know, uh, I'm fighting with this one because on one hand, I want to put him tied with our story from last week. I want to tie him with the Georgia man, but on some level, I feel like this guy was even more of an idiot. I'm going to. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5. Okay. So
8.5.
he's dumber than last week and was a lot dumber than our first week. But he's still the top runner so far.
Right. And my reasoning for this, right, is because A, he's on a motorcycle.
They
I
can
don't
only
know.
get dumber.
I don't know which is worse. Like, and this is what I'm finding. Is it worse to steal and go on a chase with police over, like, in a hearse or on a motorcycle? And in my mind, it's the motorcycle because with the hearse, right, like, that takes a little creativity, especially with, if you remember from last week's episode, he actually, like, the police lost him and the hearse. Like, he disappeared. So, on some level, creativity points, right? This guy literally made eye contact with the cops, looked right at him on his date, and said,
Well,
"No, we're starting this chase."
Well, that is the end of this week's Idiot in the News. We'll be back Friday morning with a news update. And next week, we are going to the lovely state of Nebraska to meet a true idiot, in my opinion. So far, this one might top the cake. You know, this one, I mean, next week, the guy is very impressive. I will say that much. So make sure you come back next Wednesday for that idiot. But until then, have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Bye, guys.